it's Victoria Marie. I'm back with another process video. And in this video, I decided that I was going to use some of these digital die cuts from iheartstudio.ca. And that blog and website was created by Wilna Frustenberg. Some of you may be familiar with her work. She used to be a designer for Two Peas in a Bucket, and she's designed for other manufacturers and companies as well. And I decided that I wanted to try some watercolor effects in the back using my Tim Holtz Distress inks. And I'm kind of channeling my inner Wilna because she does the most beautiful scrapbook pages that seem so effortless. But some reason when I try to make mine look like hers, or at least practice some of her techniques, it just doesn't come out right. And this is an example of that, where I'm trying out something different that I don't really do all the time, and it goes awry, and so I end up doing something else, and that's okay. Sometimes that's just how it is. You don't know if it's going to work unless you try it out. So I decided that I was going to create this watercolor effect in the background using various colors, and I was going to bunch up those flowers and clusters that I cut from my silhouette die cutting machine. And then I thought, oh, let me add a little bit more dimension and texture, so I grab a stencil and my modeling paste and try to create this mixed media effect. I grab the flowers, decide that looks too plain, so now I'm going to paint the flowers using my Distress stains or inks. Maybe those are stains. I can't remember. No. I think those are inks. Anywho, they're Tim Holtz. And so this part actually comes out okay, and I really love the way that the flowers look, but then when I try to put it all together, it looks stupid. It looks dumb. So I am going to scrap that. I'm not Wilna. It's just not my thing. I try, it's not my thing. I have to make it work for me. Okay, so I grab another piece of this Basil white cardstock. It's textured cardstock. And I decide that I'm just going to create sort of this L cluster at the bottom, and I'm going to tuck my photos, and that looks a lot better. I'm sort of satisfying my need to use some mixed media while also satisfying my need to be a little bit linear in my design, but not so linear where it just looks boxy. So I am going to put some foam squares on the back of that photo to pop it up a little bit. And these photos were taken of my little girl when she came and climbed in the bed with us about a week or so ago. And I love watching her sleep, and it's also a great opportunity to kiss her little cheekies and and stroke her hair and all those. I'm really trying to treasure these little moments because, she's growing so fast, and one day she's, not going to want to do anything with mommy when she becomes a teenager and becomes cool and does other things. So I try to treasure these moments as much as I can. So I'm adding some Tombow Mono to the back of these flowers, something real simple, just to sort of lay them down a bit. And I didn't want them to be totally flat. I wanted to add a little bit of dimension there to those flowers. And this is looking 10 times better to me than what I originally started out doing. So I decide that I am going to go with that. Now I'm trying to figure out where I want to place some of the embellishments that come with the kit that I'm using, which, by the way, I'm using the Scraptastic March kit, and it came with some beautiful embellishments. And so I'm putting some flowers by Pink Paisley, their Bella Rouge collection, and also some die cuts from Kaisercraft Shine Bright collection. And that This Moment die cut is not going to stay there. I'm going to end up moving that. So this looks really whimsical, really light and pretty, and I'm going to hang out with that design, that cluster. I add a little frame, or actually 2 frames at the top and at the bottom of the photo, just to add a little bit of dimension and some interest. And I wanted to add a pop of yellow there since there was a yellow flower. And I'm trying to adhere those die cuts down just a little bit more using my glue pen. And it stays somewhat, but not really. It's hard to glue things on textured cardstock. So anyway, it's working out, I guess, slightly. All right, so I'm going to draw my attention to the top right part of that layout. And I want to build a cluster, and I'm trying to decide what I want to use. And the collection came with some velvet bows, which I really love, but it just didn't look right. And so I grabbed some of these chipboard stickers that are also from the Bella Rouge collection by Pink Paisley. I used the other half of that frame. I couldn't tuck it underneath the bottom of my larger cluster there at the left hand, the bottom left, because I had already adhered those die cut flowers, and so I decided to put it at the top. And then I pull some die cut words from the Kaisercraft Shine Bright die cuts, and as much as I like how that looks, it didn't say what I wanted it to say, which was sweet face. And so here in a minute, I'm going to grab some thickers and do my title. I'm trying to decide how I want to cluster up that top right hand side. So I grab another die cut from the Kaisercraft collection, and that particular die cut was cute, except I wanted something a little bit different. So you're gonna see me change it out to that notes die cut, and I'm going to end up putting my journaling on that little die cut. I'm going to adhere all that down with some Tombow Mono, and I will edge up or trim off that frame there on the edge of the page here in just a few. So I clean everything up, and I find this other sticker chipboard sticker that says, I think it says life, dream a little dream is what it says, dream a little dream. Now I'm putting down my title, and I'm using two thickers fonts. The first one is called, what is that one called? Oh, it's called Hardcover, and you've seen me use this in the past couple of layouts, and I love this font. And then the other one is called Gilded. Both awesome fonts. I grabbed some of the Doodlebug sprinkles that come with the kit and make little clusters around the bottom part. I'm journaling about how much I love to watch her sleep and kiss her little cheekies when she's sleeping. Just some of my favorite moments. I'm going to add the date to the page using my Heidi Swap Roll-A-Date stamp and my VersaFine ink. I'm going to stamp that on there, trying to decide if I want to stamp that 3 times or not. And then I'm going to grab some of my Heidi Swap Mist, and this is Black Velvet. And I just want to kind of haphazardly sprinkle that around the page to make it look effortless. Of course, I'm going to back all of this with that white and black stripe paper. That's from the Teresa Collins archive collection. I'm going to use that entire piece of paper. I know some of you may be cringing at that right now. I have 3 sheets of this paper, so I'm okay with that. I don't believe in hoarding stuff. Just use it up. Just use it. You can always find a piece of black and white stripe paper, so I'm going to use that up. And I wanted to create sort of a border at the bottom, and I was too lazy to trim it out, so there you go. Alrighty, and so I'm adding a little bit more adhesive so the bottom part will stay a bit. And now I'm going to trim that frame up, and I'm also going to trim, which you probably won't see me do here, the edge of that paper that's kind of poking out on the bottom right side. Adding a little bit more adhesive to those flowers. They're very thin, but lovely nonetheless. Okay, so I'm much more happier with this design. I wanted to use some mixed media elements, but I also didn't want to depart from more of my linear style of scrapbooking. I do love clustering and layering. You see me do that a lot. And overall, I think this layout turned out great. Oh, I wanted to add one more little enamel dot there at the top because I felt something was missing, and that worked out perfect. Okay, so I'm so much happier with this version of the layout. And I say, hey, you try something the first time, it doesn't work out, that's okay. You can always scrap it and do it over. All right, so here's some final photos. Enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time.